Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm so excited for joining us. This is our CTA Diversity Taskforce Black History Month panel and recruitment event. I'm excited to be your moderator today. My name is Tia Cunningham Sumter, and I am CTA's Manager of Career and Leadership Development Programs. CTA is extremely proud to celebrate Black History Month by putting the spotlight on some of our amazing African American and Black employees and leaders within our organization. Our panel today is a really great way to highlight and celebrate the diversity that CTA values so much. So we're excited. Today's panel features talented individuals who represent the African American and Black community and who have had successful careers here at the Chicago Transit Authority. We also want to welcome and are excited to have the recruitment team with us, who at the conclusion of this panel, they will share a presentation that will highlight information for those who are interested in applying to jobs at CTA. Just a few housekeeping rules. We ask that attendees submit questions to the Q&A. You'll see that at the bottom of your screen. So as you listen to this panel, you're going to get inspired. You're going to hear things that you're going to want to know more about. So we ask that you just submit your questions by clicking on that Q&A and adding your questions there. At the end of our panel and our recruitment event portion, we're going to have an audience Q&A. So we'll be taking some of your questions there. Also want to let you know that this event will be recorded and shared on the CTA Doors Opening YouTube page. So let's jump right into our panel with our introductions. So if I can have each of the panelists introduce yourself by sharing your name, what your current job is here at CTA, and then what was your first job here at CTA? So if you could share those pieces of information. I will start with Tanisha Marshall.
Thank you, Tia. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tanisha Marshall, and I started in 2018 with CTA as the Vice President of Capital Construction over the core program. There, I managed $1 billion worth of capital construction projects along the 8 colored system here. Most notable projects is the Your New Blue program, where we did a comprehensive upgrade from our downtown to O'Hare on the Blue Line. Also, our award-winning Garfield Station improvements on the Green Line. So a few months ago, I was actually promoted to the Vice President of the Red Line Extension, which is a 5.6-mile heavy rail extension from 95th to 130th. It will also include 4 new fully accessible stations with multimodal connections. We're also designing and building a maintenance and construction yard at 120th. Construction is slated to start in 2025 and go into the end of 2029.
Perfect, thank you. Next is Rovan.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rovan Graham, and I began my career here at the CTA in 1995 as a part-time operator at Forest Glen Bus Garage, and I'm currently serving as the General Manager of Transit Safety here in the CTA Safety Department.
Thank you, Rovan. Next is Jeannie Alexander.
Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Jeannie Alexander. I began my career here at CTA as a summer intern student while I was in undergrad pursuing my degree, and I am currently the Vice President of Rail Operations.
Thank you. And finally, Sonia Hargrove.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I started my career here at the CTA as Project Specialist to Rail Operations Capital Projects Oversight. And I'm currently the General Manager of Strategic Business Operations and Transit Operations.
Perfect. Thank you all for those great introductions. Let's get started with the questions. My next question is going to be for Jeannie and Rovan. Tell us a little bit about what has kept you at CTA throughout the years.
Okay, I'll begin. Well, for me, I truly believe that CTA has really afforded me many different opportunities, and I'm truly a part of something here that is really, truly special. I believe that CTA, we are an agency that is really inclusive of diverse people. We're working towards shared goals, and that's really to provide equitable service to our surrounding communities. But also each day we work in various departments, but overall with the common goal of truly improving our customers' overall travel experience. So for me, I believe being a part of something that is much bigger than myself and a part of an agency that has afforded me so many different opportunities to work alongside so many professionals, it has truly been a wonderful career here for me thus far.
Perfect. Thank you. Ravon, same question. What has kept you at CTA throughout the years?
All right, a couple of things that impacted my career here is I love transportation, right? So I had I was already doing the previous occupation. I was contacted by the CTA and given an opportunity and combined some of my skills, which were customer service and transportation. So when I came aboard, the opportunities here for advancement, career advancement, knowledge, and ability to work with city agencies, federal agencies, and the many sister agencies have kept me here and impacted my reason for remaining at the CTA and promoting the company as a whole. Again, because so many opportunities exist and you get to work with such a diverse group of individuals.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you both. My next question is going to be for Sonia, Ravon, and Tanisha. What, in your opinion, are the top reasons someone should consider a career at CTA?
Well, I would say aside from the great benefits, such as the medical, the dental insurance, and then our free rides on the buses and trains, and our most recent perk with Metra, I think for me, the opportunity to grow with the company is most valuable to me. Like I said, I came in with an entry-level position, and I was able to move up the ranks. And I just believe that with hard work and dedication, the CTA values that, and they have resources readily available, whether it be people, training, or whatever you need to move you forward.
Okay, thank you.
I agree, Sonia. I feel like CTA has a culture of excellence with a camaraderie spirit. We're always trying to identify ways to invest in our system and improve the commuter experience. Also, CTA promotes a family environment through different activities. We have our holiday train, the heritage fleet, the jamboree, and all of the cultural public art that we do on the stations. CTA also runs several campaigns that bring awareness to commuters and families. So I feel like, CTA is a great opportunity and a great place to work.
Thank you.
Yep, and I'll wrap it up by agreeing with both Sonia and Tanisha, and just adding that oftentimes when you're out in the city of Chicago and the surrounding suburbs, and you're talking to your friends and others, most don't know how many different internal departments exist. So it really, it's so vast, and relative to your undergrad and graduate studies, you have to introduce the fact that we have law departments, government, community relations, and so many, even carpenters, right? Where carpenters and plumbers would not initially be aware that we have those trades in-house and on the property. And again, talking to disadvantaged businesses, you see the sign behind Ms. Marshall relative to rail line extension, right? So all of those opportunities exist, both internal and external. So, you have to just continue to educate folks and promote the great thing that is transportation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My next question is, what is one of your greatest career accomplishments? Tanisha, I will throw that one to you.
Okay. Well, initially, I always say the highlight of my career was being one of the assistant resident engineers on the Dan Ryan reconstruction project. The Dan Ryan carried over 320,000 vehicles per day. So we had a multi-agency coordination where we had to place all these displaced commuters. We also installed 50-year pavement, retaining walls, new ramps, lane widening, overhead bridge reconstruction. But while on that project, I was affectionately known as the road doctor. So although that project was 20 years ago since the Dan Ryan, I was on the work zone from 67th to 95th. So I'm kind of picking up where I left off from 95th to 130th with the red line extension. So I would say both of those projects are like my bookend staples to my career.
All right. I love that road doctor. I like that. And did anyone else?
People still have flyers of that.
Okay. Oh, you were on a flyer and everything. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, billboards. Yeah.
That's awesome. Did anyone else want to answer that one before I move to the next question? All right. Perfect. Next question is, this is for everyone, how has your culture or heritage played a role in your career journey?
I'll begin. Graham's Foods was located on 59th and Wentworth, right? So at the age of 11, I began working in my family's grocery store, local neighborhood grocery store. And we're talking 1970s, 80s. I know I'm dating myself, but early 80s, late 70s. And at 11 years old, I would sell snowballs in front of our business. And I would watch my grandparents and my parents work in the store and issue credit to those in the community who may not be able to get the things that they need or have the cash readily available. So they would issue credit, and those residents would come back and pay those debts, right? Because it was what they needed at the time to continue on with their families. And in relation to CTA, I look at that similarly, and how it molded and shaped me as an operator out there, servicing the community and waiting on those customers who have special needs, and assisting them to their destinations, and dealing with customers from other countries, and just having empathy. And again, that background again shaped and molded my career, which was taught to me at an early age from a family-owned grocery store.
Thank you, Jeannie.
For me, I would say that I recognize that culture defines who I am overall as a person, from my beliefs, my opinions, and more so the family traditions that I have that are taught. So for me, I truly believe that each of those traditions that I have based off opinions or beliefs, they continue to evolve, as I age and as I go through different experiences, and it really just improves my overall knowledge. But one of the things I just wanted to highlight today is that I truly believe that culture is a part of structure. And it's a structure that comes, within your familiar ranks. And for me, I would say that with correlating that to CTA actually is a part of my family's culture. And I say that because it's a type of culture that brings structure, but with being a part of my family structure, it comes with the expectations that I feel that have derived from them and instilled in me, because I do come from a long line of actual CTA employees, frontline workers, bus operators, payroll specialists, and some even as close as my mom working her way through the ranks and being a senior manager. And I truly believe that from my mother, my grandparents, and all my family that's worked here, they've always instilled in me that my performance in the workplace will truly give me an opportunity to showcase what my reliability looks like, as well as gives me, I would say, the consentment in knowing that I will always know what's expected of me, because I've come from a culture where we believe that without culture, there is no structure. And so coming to work, having that work ethic is something that came early on. And again, like I stated, being an intern, I always knew coming into CTA, although I wasn't sure that this would be my path for me full time, I always knew that the work ethic that was displayed by my family, that it was one where CTA was a family, and also CTA was comprised of people coming from different walks of life, but everyone having that common goal. And with that structure, I felt that that's something that I always carry with me in my work ethic, and just the passion to not only do a great job, but to do a great job that is reflective of me and CTA as an agency.
I love it. So it was instilled in you.
Yes.
Got it. Sonia?
I come from a large family, and they value boots on the ground and collaborative efforts, to achieve any task. But they also instilled in me the importance of applying myself, and me believing in myself and not being allowed to be defined or put in a box or labeled, define the odds pretty much. And I kind of take that mindset into my career, into management, and how I deal with people, how I deal with complex tasks and things of that sort. So I just believe that we are most powerful when we work together as a team, when you identify people's strengths and you build on that and kind of cheer them on and give them the opportunity to carry out their role. And I take what I've learned growing up and what my parents instilled in me, and I use that today in my career.
Thank you. And Tanisha?
So I always tell people CTA is my second career. So I have 20 combined years between the city and state. I've always been in the transportation and construction industry. And everybody knows that construction is known for being a white male dominated field. But I feel like as a woman of color who holds an active professional engineering license in this industry, I'm at the forefront to culminate a unique learning experience for others. Also understanding some of these challenges, in 2012, I was instrumental in creating an organization called Sisterhood of Professional Engineers. So that's comprised of 13 African-American women in the Chicagoland area that hold a professional engineering license. What we do is we share wisdom, insight, support, and encouragement for one another. I'm also on the advisory board for Women in Transportation Seminar, which is WTS. There I'll have an influence on our position and growth in the business. So although we're far in between in this industry, I feel like we're breaking barriers and impacting younger generations because now they can see the possibility of what they can become. I think we have helped to create a solid foundation in which they can build upon. And I'm proud to have made my mark within this profession.
Thank you. My next question is for you, Ravon. Who has been one of your role models and why? And if you could just share, what did you learn from that person and how did you put those lessons into practice today?
So that's a tough question, right? Because for a year and a half, I sat next to CTA President Ron Huberman, and it was a direct report to him. And he taught me so many things. He was probably the youngest president that we've had at the agency, because he was very smart, intelligent, and was a savant to a certain degree, but taught me so many things about empathy and customer relations, right? He wrote the system daily and interacted with our ride personnel. So I'd say Ron Huberman, but from an internal standpoint, Antonio McFadden, right? So Tony McFadden was general manager of bus service management and helped to shape my career. And I didn't understand his methodologies and or procedures and practices initially. So I doubted his methods and what he was doing in terms of building a team and building a successful team. But once I saw that, there's many ways to lead. It can be democratic or autocratic, and that the democratic process was a part of getting buy-in, right, from your employees. And it just built a culture of harmony, where folks would go the extra mile to assist in achieving the task and getting the job done and accomplished. So he molded my career and again shaped me and helped to grow me as an individual and as a professional.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ravon. Next question, I'm going to ask this of you as well, Ravon, but I'm going to start with Jeannie. What has been one of your most valuable learning experiences? So Jeannie, I'll start with you.
One of the most valuable experiences that I have, I'll actually take from being here at CTA. Having a background in, education and, then coming into CTA and working in more so of the administrative ranks, and then going into, like road maintenance, writing training programs, all of those were relatively things that were correlated to my background. The valuable learning experience for me was when I got an opportunity to become the general manager of the Blue and Pink lines. This was an opportunity where I, initially, didn't come from, the rankings of being a former, operator, and that traditionally had been, how, that role was promoted from people, internally within the department. And so I just want to say that that was one of my most valuable learning experiences, because it allowed me, or afforded me, I would say, an opportunity to take those skills of, teaching and training, and then also having a maintenance background, but really combining that with the operational perspective. In that role, I learned so much, and being in that position that I was in, I had to come in, and, feet on the ground, standing, really, I always say 10 toes down, because there was not an opportunity for me to shy away at any point. point. One of the things that I truly feel about this position is being really valuable because it really helps everything that I do today, because now I do oversee 4 general managers, but in their role, I was exposed to construction projects. I was exposed to how manpower really had impacts on day-to-day, service, being exposed to, different aspects that have an impact, whether it's positive or negative, be it on service, special events, different projects, and how the service that we provide has direct impacts to the surrounding cities that we have, getting that day-to-day information and feedback from customers and working with other departments here at CTA. I truly believe that my most valuable learning experience came from being the general manager. And I say that specifically because you're in this space where you're overseeing a route, you have that firsthand information and knowledge coming to you from the employees, your frontline employees, who are dealing with, the service demands every day. But it also gave me an opportunity to really come up with some strategic ideas and planning opportunities to try to improve the overall service that we provide, while also working to improve not only the relationships of, management and employees, but also boost morale by ensuring employees understood that we knew as management that we needed them and we couldn't do the job without them. And I'll always be grateful for that opportunity because I learned so much and I gained so much from that role that helps propel me in my career that I am today.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jeannie. Ravon, same question. What has been one of your most valuable learning experiences?
Well, while here at the agency, early in my career as an operator, there was a program called Transit Ambassador Training, right? And I was, again, impressionable and young, and the Transit Ambassador Training allowed me for the first time to sit with other disciplines here at the agency, with supervisors and management, and to share ideas, best practices. And it was a weekly occurrence for a month where you just got a chance to sit down and learn from others and learn about the various disabilities that exist and how to conduct yourself and train up and be a professional, right? When interacting with your customers. And I took that, although the program went away, I took that training and an ambassador with me throughout my career in the rest of the positions as I went on to become a supervisor, an instructor, and a controller, and the other positions. It was my job to then train up my coworkers, right? And to share with them the need for us to all be transit ambassadors so that we can, again, encourage people to continue to ride and use in our system, as I do daily when I see customers and passengers out there, encourage them to continue to utilize the system. So I remain a transit ambassador to this day, but that program, again, changed the trajectory of my career. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the transit ambassador training.
Thank you, Ravon. And it is coming back, so thank you for that. All right, next question. And Tanisha, I will present this one to you. What was one of the biggest challenges of your career and how did you manage it?
So there have been several, but I'll start back in my educational years because this was pivotal to where I am today by not allowing someone else to try to control my destiny. So while at a predominantly white institution majoring in civil engineering, I had a professor to tell me in front of the whole class that women's brains were smaller than men. Therefore, I could not understand engineering courses. Why am I even here? So of course I was furious by like the blatant and disrespectful comment, especially since my tuition was paying his salary. It got so bad that I actually stopped asking questions in his class just to avoid the humiliation. I tried to meet with him during his office hours. He literally shut the door in my face. So I talked to other professors, I talked to the dean, they never did anything about his behavior. So I was at a crossroad in my sophomore year. I had to go through several more courses with him in order to graduate. So it wasn't like a one and done type of class. So I could take what he said to heart and quit or go to another university, or I could find a way to navigate and learn his teaching methods, which I did. So I received an A in his class and all his future classes going forward. By the next semester, this same professor would gloat and say, ask Tanisha, she's smarter than all the boys. She's my smartest student. So now I became his little prize, right? So I share that story because That was the beginning of many obstacles that I would attempt to dictate where I belong. So I have unapologetically earned my designated place in my career path and my leadership achievements.
Oh, you just got me so pumped up with that, Tanisha. I'm like, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. I got
True story.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. My next question, and I'll ask all of you to contribute to this question. What are you doing to ensure you continue to grow in your career? And then how do you support others growing in their careers? Jeannie, I'll start with you.
Sure thing, Tia. I really appreciate this question because, just looking at the various positions, whether it's administration manager, senior transportation manager, general manager, various VP opportunities that I've held, for me, I truly believe that I'm a lifelong learner. And in our ever evolving industry, ever changing industry, the possibilities to expand my knowledge are truly limitless. I've sought out professional development opportunities, even here within the CTA, as I continue to strengthen myself, personally and professionally. Even as recent as participating in the Leadership APTA class of 22. Leadership APTA, that program, just the opportunity to work with, other industry professionals. But even in my personal time, I participate in workshops, webinars, any online teachings, just to strengthen my awareness of industry best practices, but overall try to work to improve my productivity. I am a part of different organizations. I'm the second vice president for Compto Chicago. I'm also a board member with Lindop District 92. So even though that's something that's outside of our transit industry, I like to be a part of different organizations and opportunities because it still helps me to expound on my leadership skills, as well as, again, improve the overall productivity for myself. But in my role with others, I would say I support the growth of others and with my team because I personally facilitate leadership workshops with my team. I work with other departments like Tia, yourself, in training and workforce development, and other outside entities, I would say, to develop courses, many courses focused on specific topics. I would say topics ranging from critical thinking and more recently, leading with intentions. These are just to name a few things, but this really allows my team to remain professionally agile. In addition to learning additional new skills. I think it is important to invest and pour into those who are around you to help build them up and serve as mentors and a liaison for resources where others may not feel those opportunities that you have are afforded to them. So I just really want to serve as a catalyst to show those around me, as well as my team, that those opportunities that they may see that I've taken, it takes agility from myself, but it also takes, resources and support from others. And I'm just thankful for the opportunities from my leadership that afforded me opportunities within CTA, but I'm also thankful for the support that I have in my personal life. More specifically, I have to definitely thank my husband because he's really helped propel me to take on all these different roles and different challenges that I take on, and that, I have thus far have been very successful. So with that support that I have internally at work, and then, of course, in my personal life with my family, those are things that I feel that help propel me to be where I am and continue to grow, but also, identify things for me I can help tell others what they can utilize as well to help support them in their growth.
Thank you. Sonia?
I'll say for me, I'm fortunate. I'm in a fortunate situation because I work close to some of the smartest people, I believe, in the agency. I get the opportunity to report directly to the chief transit officer and work closely with the department heads that fall under his umbrella. So I am a sponge. I don't take that for granted. Every day I learn something from each of them. And I make it a point to give back to and take those experiences and give back to the people in the office and abroad. I think it's important to stay connected. So I stay connected to what other agencies are doing, as well as attend any training opportunities or any seminars such as Ms. Alexander stated to enhance my professional development.
Thank you. Rovan?
Okay, in terms of growth for myself and others, I'd say training and communication, right? So taking advantage of the various training opportunities here within the agency and then outside of the agency. So Jenny mentioned the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials, also known as COMTO. I currently sit as the president for the Chicago chapter. So we are afforded the opportunity to travel around the country and explore different transit agencies, the multiple modes of transportation, and share industry best practices by benchmarking and sharing ideas and concerns and issues that affect all of us, and how to best resolve or mitigate those issues. So the training has definitely benefited me, and I continue to take on that training because with today's technology, you have to stay up on training relative to autonomous vehicles and things of that nature that are coming out and become electric buses, things of that nature. And the communication part is where I bring back to my team. But we also keep training calendars for the team, and we send those guys out on training. And I bring my teammates in monthly and give them evaluations, right? Because everybody wants to know where they stand, where they're succeeding at, and what they need improvement. So those are the things that are valuable to me, and that I continue to explore and instill in my crew, training and communication. And again, with the communication part, you have to have tough conversations. Oftentimes people want to take on leadership roles, but don't want to have that tough conversation with their staff. You have to be honest with folks and tell them where they stand and what they need to do to improve, and then thrust them in leadership roles. I try to promote all of my team up and out, right? I tell them all the time, I don't want you to remain in your current position. I want to strengthen you, and then if you move on and outward, and then prepare others to take my position, right?
Absolutely. Thank you. And then Tanisha, answering this last question.
Like my CTA career has allowed my purpose to intersect with my passion. For almost 30 years, I've been an active member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, which is one of the largest public service organizations. The CTA provides me the opportunity to service communities that impacts millions of commuters and support their daily life. CTA also has provided a platform for me to cultivate generations of successful leaders and high achievers. And I'm just at a point in my career right now where I just want to pour into others. I'm thankful for having this position where I can implement positive change and provide direction to those who are growing within the organization.
Thank you so much. Well, you all have all definitely poured into all of us. This was an amazing panel. I had pages of notes I was trying to moderate in and capture all the information that you all were sharing with us. So I just want to say thank you all so much for just taking this time, pouring into us, sharing your career journey with us, and inspiring us all. So I'm going to pause, and I'm going to turn it over to Delon, who's going to lead us into the recruitment event.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all panel for just the fantastic notes. I agree with Tia. I was over here making my notes so I can do some follow-up with you all, because it was fantastic. I know we could do this all day, but we want to be sure that we give you all an opportunity to hopefully come back for the Q&A in a little bit. But for right now, again, my name is Delon White. I'm the manager of talent acquisition, and we're going to take a few minutes to just do a brief recruitment presentation. So one of our talent acquisition specialists, Tori, is on the line. She's going to take us through just a little bit about the recruitment process and give some really great tips. And then we'll come back to a Q&A before we wrap up for this afternoon. So please, if you have any questions, attendees, definitely go into that Q&A chat and add those questions. I've already seen quite a few come in, so we might not get a chance to get to all of them, but we'll try to get to as many as we can. So definitely keep those questions coming. And I'm going to turn it over to Tori so that she can take us through our presentation.
Thank you, Delon. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to just say thank you again to the panelists for sharing their experiences with us. Very inspiring. But my name is Tori, and I'm a talent acquisition specialist here with CTA. I've been here for coming up on a year now, and I'm looking forward to many more years here with CTA. Today, I'm here to discuss with you more about CTA. So we're going to go over a brief overview of CTA, some of our core values, our initiatives, and career opportunities. Let's first start by understanding CTA's mission. Our mission is to deliver quality, affordable transit services that link people, jobs, and communities. So very recently, we celebrated 75 years of service here at CTA. An overview of CTA, we employ about 10,000 employees, union and non-union, but the majority of our employees are union employees. About 8,500 of these 10,000 employees are union employees. We service the Chicagoland area as well as the surrounding suburbs, so about 35 of the area's surrounding suburbs. We have 130 bus routes and 8 rail lines. So you can think of CTA in, I guess, 3 divisions. We have our corporate, we have our bus, and our rail sectors. So our headquarters is located here at 567 West Lake Street. We have 7 bus garages that range from 103rd Street all the way to Forest Glen, and we have garages everywhere in between. And we have 8 rail terminals that go throughout the Chicagoland area as well as the surrounding suburbs. We're going to cover 2 of CTA's core values, one being diversity. Diversity is embraced and very much promoted here at CTA. We have employees from all over the city, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different cultures. We even have a task force that is focused on celebrating, educating, and cultivating a diverse and inclusive workforce. Some ways that we are taking initiative to do this now is through the red line extension, which will extend the red line into the south areas of Chicago in which it's not currently available. We also recently signed an MOU with the U.S. military to promote and increase our veteran workforce at CTA. So we're looking forward to see how both of these initiatives progress. CTA is an equal employment opportunity. We follow ADA regulations to ensure that our facilities and vehicles are accessible for people with disabilities and special needs. We also allow candidates to request accommodations in the application process. And of course, employees can also request accommodation at any point in their employment here at CTA. Safety is another core value here at CTA. And so to encourage the safety of our passengers as well as our employees, we have implemented a COVID-19 vaccination requirement. This requires all employees to be fully vaccinated according to the CDC guidelines. Currently, that guideline for full vaccination is to have your doses. So if you had the Moderna or the Pfizer, you would need 2 doses. If you got the Johnson & Johnson, that 1 dose. Currently, the booster is not a requirement, but you must be fully vaccinated for 14 days before beginning employment with CTA. Now let's talk about some careers here at CTA. CTA has a wide variety of career opportunities, and we encourage you to look online and apply for careers that you are interested in and qualified for. But I'm going to talk about 2 of the biggest driving forces behind CTA. The first is our bus operators, and they are literally the driving force behind CTA. They move the city. Requirements to be a full-time bus operator: you must submit and pass a drug test. You have to be 21 years of age or older with an acceptable driving record. And it is required to have a Class B CDL, but a CDL is not required for you to apply to this position. What is required to apply to this position before starting in this position is a commercial learner's permit. This can be obtained at the DMV by taking a written test. The 3 portions that you will need to complete and pass are the general knowledge, air brake, and passenger. And some benefits of being a bus operator here with CTA: we do have full-time bus operator positions available. With these full-time positions come benefits. We're also doing a $1,000 sign-on bonus. We also have a pension plan as well, one of the few companies that still do pension plans. Our starting rate for the bus operator is $28.99, and all of your training is paid. So we have an extensive training program to equip you to be able to operate these buses, and you are paid for all of that training. Keep in mind that CTA is a 24-hour operation, and so schedules and locations are picked, we do a system pick or a schedule pick, and this is done by seniority. So the more time you have here with CTA, the higher you move up on that rank. The second opportunity that I'd like to take a moment to discuss is our bus mechanic. We need our operators out there moving the city, but we also need our mechanics taking care of our buses so that they're fully functioning. So our mechanics perform comprehensive maintenance and repair work on our authority buses. The requirements for the bus mechanic, you must have 2 years of work experience in the automotive, truck, or bus repair industry. You must be able to submit and pass a drug and alcohol test. You must be 21 years of age or older and also have an acceptable driving record. Again, a CDL is required for this role, but is not required for you to apply. What is required for you to begin here with CTA is your CDL, which is a CLP, Commercial Learner's Permit. And again, you would go to the DMV to pass that written test to obtain your CLP. Benefits of being a bus mechanic. It is also a full-time position with full benefits, medical, dental, and also the opportunity for pension. The starting rate for our bus mechanics are $40.59 an hour. We currently have the $1,000 sign-on bonus happening, and there's 5 months of paid training. So we will thoroughly equip you to be able to take care of these buses. Most of our buses right now are diesel. We are slowly but surely operating electrical into our fleets as well. This is a screenshot of our careers page. So just looking here of how to navigate our careers page, on the left-hand side here, you'll have the position title. Right next to it, you'll have the date that this position will be taken offline, meaning you won't be able to apply to it anymore. So you want to make sure that you apply to the positions before that date listed there. Next, you'll see the salary. And then on the right-hand side there is the button for you to apply. So let's walk through how to apply to roles here at CTA. It's very easy to apply. Visit our careers page at transitchicago.com/careers. You'll complete a profile. And once you complete a profile, it's very easy to apply to many positions that you are interested and qualified for. So fill out that profile and submit online. One thing that we urge candidates to do is to submit a resume. There are certain positions that will not accept an application without a resume. That application is considered incomplete if you don't have your resume. So we do encourage you, please make sure to submit a resume with your application. If you don't have a resume, there are tools online that can help you create a resume. Now, once you've submitted your application, the next step is to keep an eye out on your emails for next steps from us. Many, but not all of our roles require testing or assessment. And this could be most of them are a written knowledge-based assessment. There are, like for the bus mechanic, the practical test that you'll have to complete. I encourage everyone, please take these assessments seriously. Make sure that you're in a quiet location that you can focus and complete this assessment. The assessment is required for you to move forward in the hiring process. So you do have to pass these assessments. If you, for example, take the assessment today and you pass it, your passing score is valid for 3 years, so you wouldn't have to take that assessment again for another 3 years. If you do not pass the assessment, you will have to wait an entire year before being able to retest for that position. The next step after completing and passing your test would be to look for communication from us to schedule a phone or video interview. So all positions posted will have at least one phone interview or one video interview. These interviews typically right now take place over Zoom due to COVID, and they are typically 30 to 45 minutes. Some topics we'll focus on in the interview is your work history, education and skills, and previous experience. So make sure to have these things prepared well. Please make sure for your interviews that you are in a quiet location that you can focus with no background noise, and also be dressed professionally. After the interview and passing your interview, The next step would be to begin our pre-employment process. Our pre-employment process consists of a background check, a medical, and also completing our online certification for fatigue and sleep apnea awareness. Again, you want to keep an eye on your emails for communication to begin these processes. Let's review the hiring process timeline. So you want to go to our careers page at transitchicago.com/careers to apply online. Once you've applied online, keep an eye out on your emails for next communications from our team. That next communication very well could be a test or an assessment that you'll have to complete. After passing and completing that assessment, keep an eye out for communications to schedule an interview with us. And once you've passed and completed the interview, you will be extended usually a verbal offer first, and then you'll begin that pre-hire process, which that pre-hire process consists of completing a background check, a physical, and a drug screening, as well as completing our online certification for the fatigue training. And once you've cleared and completed and cleared all of these steps, we'll send you information regarding the new employee orientation. You're on your way to being a CTA employee after that. More benefits of being a CTA employee. Medical benefits are available both for full and part-time employees. All employees receive free transit on CTA, PACE, and Metra. We have wonderful retirement options, including a pension plan. All training is paid. So as soon as you starting from your orientation date, everything after, including orientation, is paid. We have ongoing professional development and career advancement opportunities. And we also make reasonable accommodations for all of our employees and candidates as needed. And there's many more benefits that I could go over, but I don't have the time to. So if you're interested, you'll just have to become a CTA employee to find out the rest. But I want to thank you all for giving me your attention and time today. And I'll hand it back over to Delon to go over our Q&A time.
Thank you so much, Tori, for all that fantastic information. We certainly appreciate it. You actually, with all of your comments throughout the presentation, you've answered most of the questions that have come in that were recruitment related. So I'll actually be passing it off to Tia in a moment to go through some registration questions and some other questions that have come in through the chat. But there was one question that I wanted to, I guess, kick it off with, because I think it is kind of recruitment related. And Tanisha, I think that you've done a fantastic job of talking through your experience as an engineer. And so one of the questions that have come in is, if somebody is graduating and they maybe are recently have an engineering degree, what are maybe some career opportunities that they can consider starting to look at here at the CTA?
So thank you for passing that question over to me. With the Redline extension, we actually will be hiring some engineers this year, so please be on the lookout. We have mechanical, electrical, civil, structural, systems and signal engineers. So we're definitely we're on the lookout for plenty of engineers to come on board. We have a lot of work ahead of them, and so hopefully the person that just graduated mechanical engineering, they will definitely consider CTA coming on board here. We also will be hiring project managers and general managers. I just want to throw that out there. So we have a lot of upcoming opportunities. And as you know, this will be an exciting project for anybody to be a part of.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And I think I'll pass it over to Tia. We have just a few minutes more to get a few more questions in before we wrap up.
Absolutely. Thank you, Delon. So questions from our panelists. One question was around relationship building. What relationship building skill have you found most meaningful over the course of your career? And any of you can jump in to answer that one.
So, okay, I'll jump in. I feel like I've been talking a lot. So skills that are most meaningful for relationship building, I feel like is like trust and communication, kind of piggyback off of what Ravon said, being comfortable having uncomfortable conversations with your staff and those around you. I think that's a skill set, and it has to be treated delicately. So just being able to have some honest conversations with people, because eventually it makes them be kind of ups their game and makes them become a better individual.
Thank you. Another question that came in and anyone could answer, do you see change as it relates to diversity within the organization? like more minority executives? And do any of us see that or experience that?
Let Ro get in on that. So I think, yes, right. If you look at the panel, right, I see change when it comes to opportunities, right, for females within this organization and within this country, right? And I think it's a welcome change. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, this would have been a male dominant conversation based on the positions at the table. But yeah, I see more opportunities for females, and I see a more diverse team here at the agency, and I hope we continue up on that trajectory.
Absolutely. This is what I love about CTA. Another question is, what doubts did you face in your growing career and how did you overcome them? Jeannie, how about I toss that one at you? What doubts did you face in your growing career?
You know what, I would say more so just, just turning off the naysayers, right? Just, things when you hear that, maybe you didn't come from this or always being treated, as if you're an outsider because your career path didn't align, maybe how others and people feeling that, you didn't belong in a certain role. I really felt that, there was a time where, you needed to, or I needed to more so just say like work to prove people wrong. And really, honestly, in my career, I've learned that, it was never about that. I've been afforded some wonderful opportunities. And I feel that, the opportunity that I've been presented with, came at the right time. I felt that everything was lined and it was, it basically was, I would say, divine intervention, and I felt that each opportunity, that I was granted, it allowed me, to not only strengthen the confidence that I already had within myself, but, push away the doubt that there were things, that I couldn't do. Now, I can't be, I can be transparent and say, I can't say that I didn't think that I would be, in the role that I'm in right now. No, I didn't set out, to do that. But, through the experiences that I've had and the different opportunities that, were, brought my way, I am grateful, for that opportunity. And I think each step that I've gone through has really prepared me for the role that I'm in. But I would definitely say, sometimes some things could seem, as if it's, it could be scary, or maybe you're really thinking that you should go into something with, by checking the block on all these different, things within a career path. But I think, it's what you bring to the table that makes you a candidate in the conversation for consideration for any position. And so I think, that has been something that I'm grateful for, those opportunities, because it allowed me an opportunity to do things that I wouldn't have normally, done. Right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Then I'm just pulling some of the questions from the Q&A here within the Zoom. Someone asked about mentors. Do any of you have mentors, and what is the value of having a mentor?
Yes, I know I do. I have a mentor. Actually, it's good to have a mentor outside of CTA. And because, you get that unbiased, that unbiased response, right? What you're doing right, what you could be doing better, and then things where, areas where you can improve. So I really think having a mentor, and a mentor could be anyone. It could be a family member, mine is non-related, but, I think that it could be a family member. It could be an old, colleague of some sort. But I really think that it's really good just to bounce ideas off people, to kind of gauge that, perspective of you're doing things right. Because I don't think at any given moment, everyone has it all. And I think mentors are just, great sounding boards. I know for me, mine is just a really good sounding board, to kind of bounce some ideas off of, but just share different experiences. And then you also, for me, I get an opportunity, to gauge from experience what things are, what things they've gone through, because, having a transparent, mentor is really key. And I know it's been for me, but I think mentors are really great. And I think people should actively seek mentorship. Don't be afraid to ask people, to be your mentor.
Good stuff. Sonia?
I would say yes. I mean, I have mentors here. They don't know it yet, Tia, but I have mentors here at CTA that I utilize daily. And frankly, they're not afraid to say, no, Sonia, they don't agree with me. I think a great mentor is honest. They're encouraging, but honest, and so, yes, I think mentors are important because a lot of times we get in our own way. And that's where someone with an unbiased opinion come in to kind of, set the record straight. So, yeah, I definitely think that is important. And I have a host of mentors here that I rely on daily to kind of help me navigate through my career.
Awesome. So I'm going to do one more question. I'm going to combine two questions that I think are awesome from the Q&A. One was asking about resources that you would suggest to aspiring leaders, and the other was around advice you would give to a new employee regarding career advancement. So as you share your advice, if there are any resources or books or podcasts that you've used to help you grow in your career, if you could share that as you give advice to an employee looking to advance within the company.
Well, I'll jump in with, advice to someone starting new with the company. My progression with the company is different than most. I've moved probably 5 times in 5 different positions in 5.5 years, and that's unheard of oftentimes at the CTA. But I think my progression is just a testament of how CTA values hard work. And so if you're dedicated to your roles and you apply yourself, I'm not going to be the person to tell you you have to stay in a position 20 years in order to be promoted, because I'm an exception to the rule. So I feel like if I can break the glass ceiling, then others coming in can do the same.
Perfect. Thank you. Anyone else? I think we got about 2 minutes left. So if you all want to jump in.
So I think that a couple of transportation related opportunities we discussed earlier. APTA, right? American Transportation Association. Every member of the CTA is a member of the APTA. So you can join the subcommittees, educate yourself in terms of your specific field or other fields you may be interested in, and then try to attend some of the conferences and network, right? And benchmark with the agencies from all over the world, not just the United States. Same thing with Conference of Minority Transportation Officials that exists to promote equity, right, among minorities and transportation. So opportunities exist within CompTO. We have 37 chapters over 50 states, and we have a couple of chapters outside of the United States. So taking advantage of those agencies and those opportunities to, again, broaden your horizon, touch with other agencies, and just get a better feel for what's going on in your profession will strengthen you and open up your eyes and opportunities as you meet individuals from all over the world.
Yeah. And then Jeannie and then Tanisha, you'll close us out.
Honestly, I was just going to say, when it comes to new employees, I always tell everyone, here at CTA, we get a lot of information as it relates to, standard operating procedures, different policies and things like that. Arm yourself with all of those, because I know it can be overwhelming, but I really think that you take advantage of those opportunities where, you know your craft. I think it's very important to understand all the components and the dynamics that it goes to your position. And then I think once I know some people feel you master that craft, but in order for you to really understand, I believe, where you can go, I do think that people really should understand where they are. And I would just throw out, a few different books, Dare to Lead, 7 Highly Effective People, because I think, going into things like that, you really should read those things, because, everyone, you have different roles. And I think once you understand what you're doing, and the expectations of you, again, it will help you propel into not only just within CTA, but just in life. And so but those are some things, there are, tons of books, but I definitely would recommend by Brené Brown, Dare to Lead, because I know it's, it's just for me. There's some things where, kind of takes you out of your comfort zone and just gain different perspectives. But again, that's the lifelong learner in me. So I'll leave it right there.
Thank you. And Tanisha, thank you, Gina.
Kind of to piggyback on what Ms. Alexander said, there are so many processes here in CTA. And actually, if you learn how to navigate the computer system here, there are so many things that are already written. So take time out to read those processes, read those SOPs, understand it and internalize it, because at some point you may have to utilize it when you're out there on the system. And as far as books, I too am a lifelong learner, and I read a lot of books. One of my favorites is The Little Black Book of Success for African-American Women. And so it kind of tells you different things to look out for, as they call it, the C-suite, the corporate suite. So Little Black Book of Success and John Maxwell, I read a lot of books as well too. So we can share notes, Jenny.
Yes, that was perfect.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I wrote it down. So this wraps up our event. I just want to say a huge thank you to our panelists for just inspiring all of us. To our presenters, Delon and Tori, for taking the time to be part of this panel that is just celebrating Black History Month. We appreciate your time and learning about the journey at CTA. That was really, really useful information. We absolutely have to thank all of our attendees for joining us today, for submitting your questions. We hope that you did gain some really valuable information and that you had a chance to learn more about the different careers that are offered here at CTA, and a chance to hear from some of our amazing leaders who were on our panel. I thought it was awesome. So I just want to wish everyone a great rest of your day. Thank you until our next event. Thank you and goodbye, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all for the
Thank
opportunity.
you. Thank you.